everybody. My name is Tom Weirman, and I'm working with the Long Island Family Coalition. The Long Island Family Coalition is a group of concerned Christians, pastors, who are working together to educate the body of Christ in what's going on around them in terms of your local government, your state government, your national government, and not only just to educate you, but also to call you to action so you could take part in becoming part of the change. Because if you are not paying attention, or you may be even paying attention right now, you see that our world is falling apart around us, and the body of Christ must stand up, must start doing something, not just start complaining about it, because pretty soon we're going to lose our rights as well. Now, I can make a whole, another podcast about, the importance of us doing, of the Christian body taking a role in governance, but that's going to be for another day. But right now, we have an election coming up this November, and specifically right here in New York, on the back of your ballot, a very important proposition, it's called Proposition 1, is going to give you the opportunity to vote either yes or no for it. Now, what Proposition 1 is called the ERA Amendment, also known as the Equal Rights Amendment. Now, on the outset, when you hear the word Equal Rights Amendment, sounds great. We should always be giving everybody equal rights. All right, but I want to read it to you, and then I want to get into specific points about the amendment. And let's see if this Equal Rights Amendment is really all it's cracked up to be. Okay, so here we go. Right here. So the proposed changes to Article 1, Section 11 of the New York State Constitution says, "No person shall be denied the equal protection of the laws of the state or any subdivision thereof. No person shall, because of race, color, ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, creed, religion, sex, including sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, pregnancy outcomes, and reproductive health care and autonomy, may be subjected to any discrimination in their civil rights by any other person or by any firm, corporation, or institution, or by the states or any agency or subdivision of the state, pursuant to law." Now let's just start with that last part, pursuant to law. This means if you are found guilty of discriminating against any of the things I just said right there, you could be prosecuted, whether it be civilly or criminally. We don't know yet, and that's the problem. We don't know a lot about what this really means because it's very ambiguous. It just lists a bunch of things, but you have to understand, this will become part of the Constitution of New York. Now, laws will be made based upon what the Constitution says. The Constitution is very, very difficult to change. Interestingly, we are given the opportunity in this case to either say yay or nay to what is being said here. Now remember, it's called the Equal Rights Amendment. If we don't really know what this actually means and how laws that will eventually be made based upon this amendment, if we don't know how they're going to be possibly play out, we could set us up for a complete disaster. I mean, a disaster that will be very hard to come back from. So let's get into this a little bit and have a little conversation about it. So the first part here, it talks about race and color. We don't want to discriminate on race and color. I think we could all agree with that. Whether you're white, black, brown, yellow, red, I don't care if you're purple, green, doesn't matter. We should not be discriminating against anybody's race, color. Listen, I think we all know that. That's obvious, okay? It also says ethnicity. Well, what's ethnicity? Ethnicity is where my roots come from. Now, my national origin is I'm an American citizen. My ethnicity is on my mom's side I'm Italian, my dad's side I'm German. So I'm a German-Italian, but I'm an American. That's my national origin. Ethnicity is something else. And I agree, we shouldn't discriminate on ethnicity either. I don't really care where your family background is from. Just be a good person, be a good citizen of this country, and if you're not a citizen, follow the laws. Now it says, though, national origin. Now this is where things get kind of interesting. I just told you I'm a citizen of this country because I was born here. If you are not born in this country, you are not a citizen. This amendment is saying is that we cannot discriminate against people who are not born here. You say, Tom, well, of course, why would you want to do that? Well, let's think of it from a very simple aspect here. 20 million people have come over our border in the last 4 years. These are not legal citizens, but even if they were legally here, even if they were, they're not citizens. So we do discriminate in this country for people who are not citizens. They can't do what? They cannot vote. Now, we already have seen in New York City and I think in California where legislatures have gotten together and have said, well, we want to allow these people to vote. They're not citizens, though. This goes against the U.S. Constitution. But we are trying to put it in our New York State Constitution where where it's possible that laws can be made where non-citizens, people not from this country, can vote. This is a problem, people. This is a problem. We cannot allow this. All right, let's move on. Age. Okay, now when you think about we shouldn't discriminate against age, we think a lot about maybe these old people shouldn't be driving anymore, or we should make them take tests again. That's not what this is about. This is about not elderly people. This is about children. Saying we cannot discriminate against children because of their age. Now look, I am a freedom-loving guy. I got on the back of my shirt it says freedom right now. But I do not believe that we give outright freedoms to children. No way, shape, or form. I'm a dad. I'm a parent. Many of you are parents watching this. Many of you are grandparents. Your children would walk off of a cliff if there were no restrictions. We know it. They make bad decisions all the time. That's why we're called their guardians. We're supposed to guard them. But this amendment, if it passes, it will allow children, it will allow people of any age to make decisions that they ought not make. Kids should not be making important decisions in their life. We should be making it for them. So let's play this out. What could this mean? Well, if we allow children to make any decision they want, and let's just say they're in school and the school decides, hey, we have these new vaccines that just came out, all right? And we want to give them to children. You need these vaccines. You could get sick and die if you don't get these vaccines. But teacher, do I have to call my mom? No, you don't have to call your mom or dad. How old are you? I'm 8 years old. Well, you can make that decision on your own. You don't want to die, do you? No, I don't want to die. Come, take the vaccine. Okay. They don't have to call the parents. They don't have to call you. They could just give it to the children. This is frightening, people. This is absolutely frightening. Kids should not be able to make these decisions. So right now we have restrictions on adult content, right? You're supposed to be 18 years old before you can watch adult content. Now, I don't think any of us should be watching adult content. But children are supposed to be 18. Well, with this amendment, it doesn't matter how old they are. They give you whatever they want. Well, we got to play this out, folks, because these are things that can actually happen. What about alcohol? Well, we have restrictions on age. Well, not according to this amendment. See, the people who come up with these ideas to have these amendments to the Constitution, they're not like us. They don't believe in limits. They believe that the government should be controlling everything, not you. You're an enemy to them. So let's even go a little further with this. And this is where it gets real. I mean, listen, everything I've said so far is downright scary. But how about this? Let's just say that a 12-year-old girl who's, maybe going through puberty, is a little bit self-conscious about how she looks and is very stressed out, is, always just nervous about life in general. And then, a handsome young 28-year-old man just starts telling her how beautiful she is and, how nice she is and how she should feel so great about who she is and, this and that. And he starts wooing her. And this girl develops a crush, and maybe a relationship develops, and maybe sexual intercourse happens between the adult man and the 12-year-old girl. Well, it's possible that the 12-year-old girl may say, don't prosecute that man. I'm in love with him. But you're only 12 years old. That's right. I'm 12 years old, and we cannot discriminate. You can't discriminate against me because of my age. I'm saying I love this man, and you can't say I can't have a relationship with him. Folks, you say, Tom, this is never going to happen. It's happening. You have the pedophile organizations who are already making inroads. And in California, they're decriminalizing some elements of pedophilia. So, as California goes, as New York goes, so does the rest of the nation. We've got to be really careful about this. This is craziness. We cannot allow this to happen. Not only vaccinations or pornography or drinking or whatever what I just said here. What about gender transitioning? The school won't have to tell you as mom and dad or as a guardian, what's going on with your kid. Your guardianship just gets ripped away. A lot of people don't call this. They say this is not the ERA amendment. This is the Parent Removal Amendment, and that's a fact. A lot of the socialists who hold power in this in our state would very much like for you to never have control over your kids. I mean, right now they're talking about feeding children breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks in school, keeping them not just from 8 in the morning to 2:30. They want to keep them till 5 o'clock. They want to raise your kid. This is frightening stuff, people. We've got to be aware. We've got to take control of our own families, of our own children. Okay, so also we have can't discriminate on sex, all right, biological sex. All right, this will give, think about this, guys. We've already heard about this. This will give the New York State constitutional right for males to participate in female sports. Now, we're not even talking about those males who think they're women, the transgender males, which is a whole problem in and of itself. But we're talking about, hey, I'm a guy, I want to play in the girls' basketball team. And you know what? Me and my buddies, we all want to play in the girls' basketball team. And guess what? We want to shower in the girls' showers with the girls. This is what this amendment can bring about. I mean, this is some scary stuff. So you can't discriminate against sexual orientation. Now, of course, we know that homosexuality is a sin, but we don't want to hurt homosexuals, right? That's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to, tell them they're the worst people on earth, because we are all sinners. We have all fallen short of the glory of God. However, let's just say you're a pastor, and obviously in our faith, we know that homosexuality is not congruent with Christianity. And a gay couple comes to the pastor and say, hey, we want you to marry us. And the pastor says, I can't do that. Well, your pastor can be prosecuted against. Let's just say your church wants to hire people, and then, maybe homosexual people want to come to work for the church and take part in church activities and maybe teach in the church or do different things. Can't discriminate against them if this amendment gets passed. What if you are a business owner? Forget about being a pastor and or a person working in the church. What if you're a business owner and you don't want to bake a cake for a gay wedding, or you don't want your wedding band to play for a gay wedding because it truly it's against your personal religious beliefs, which the U.S. Constitution protects. Well, our New York State Constitution, if it gets amended, well, you're not going to have that protection anymore. We've already seen this. I don't have to go through all the stories. You guys already know about the baker who wouldn't bake the cake for the gay couple and how they prosecuted and they basically tortured that person, tried to get them to lose their entire business. Absolutely horrific things that happened to that person. But it could happen right here, and they can enshrine it into our New York State Constitution. When I say the word enshrine, I mean lock it in. This is not like just saying, putting a law up and it'll either be voted up or voted down. No. The laws will be subject to this. It won't even be laws, actually. If somebody just wants to say, hey, marry us, we're a gay couple, and you say no as a pastor, no, you can be prosecuted against. I don't know what that means. If it means going to jail, if it means fines, or if it means closing your church down, I don't know. But these are things that we have to be aware of. This is the possibility of what could happen. So, pregnancy outcomes, it also says here. What does this mean, pregnancy outcomes? All right, so let me read a little bit to you here, because it's called protectkidsny.com. Has such great information, and that's actually what I'm going to read to you from here. But I'm just going to read this here. It says, If the ERA passes by a popular majority vote on November 5th, 2024, it would constitutionalize not only a right to destroy unborn human beings on demand throughout all 9 months of pregnancy, regardless of age, sex, disability, national origin, ethnicity, race, but it will also threaten the few safeguards that exist in New York surrounding abortion. It will also jeopardize the ability for future New York State legislatures to enact and implement common sense standards regarding the abortion procedures. So look, now, do I think that New York State will ever ban abortion? I really don't. I mean, unless a massive move of God happens on the state. But I mean, I would love it, but I don't see it happening at this point. But let's just say that New York State legislature would say, you know what, we want to ban abortions after the 6th week or after the 15th week. This amendment would say, nope, you can't do it, gone. Your representatives, their vote would mean absolutely nothing. So it would just basically destroy any possible chance of anti-abortion laws being passed in the state. Also, again, going back to age, let's just say your daughter gets pregnant, could be even by a rape. But what if she's scared to tell you, or the school could protect her? They don't have to tell you. Again, Parent Removal Act here. Craziness. This is madness that we're talking about. I mean, what this is really starting to become is, this is Marxism 101. In Maoist China, where communism and Marxism reign supreme, this is how they kind of go about things. Parents don't have the right to raise their children. The state will raise your children. That is what we are headed towards right now. Say, Tom, aren't you overstating this? If you looked at our country in the year 1900 and you looked at the amount of rights we have lost since then, you would absolutely say, this is a possibility. Folks, it is. Am I trying to scare you? Absolutely, I'm trying to scare you. Without question, I'm trying to scare you. Because if they pass this amendment, our churches are at risk, our parenthood is at risk, our children are at risk of a lot of things that we don't want to see happen. So on November 5th, I'm asking you to vote no to Prop 1. But I'm not just here to try to educate you. That's obviously one major part of it. I'm calling you to action. If you see this video, share it with somebody. If you want to talk about it, remember I said go to protectkidsnewyork.com to get more information. It's really a great resource. But we've got to start talking about it. Post about it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it might be, Twitter. We need to get this word out. Because when people see Equal Rights Amendment, they may automatically say yes and just vote. They may not even read anything about it. And they may not be able to play out in their mind what this means. But we know what it means. It's absolutely vital that we say no to this and that we take action and that we talk to people, friends, family, strangers, I don't care, neighbors, knock on doors, like I said, post in community forums, but we must vote no to Prop 1. This is super dangerous. It could really take a lot of our rights away. Thanks for listening to me. God bless you. We'll see you next time.